ask a simple question. What has the world been scrambling for over the past 2 years? NVIDIA GPUs, compute accelerators. That is the headline everyone knows. But the real choke point for AI is often not raw compute at all. It is memory, and more broadly, the storage path that keeps data close enough to feed the chip on time. Put plainly, the hardest problem is often not whether the brain is fast enough. It is whether the system can remember enough, move enough data, and keep the processor supplied without stalling. That sounds like a minor plumbing detail, but it quietly decides who can train faster, who can serve models cheaper, and why the ripple effects are now showing up in consumer electronics too. In this episode, we walk through AI memory from first principles and explain why this supposedly boring layer now matters so much. To understand this, separate two words that people constantly blur together: storage and memory. Storage is the large, slower warehouse. Think hard drives and solid-state drives. It keeps files, weights, checkpoints, and data over time. Memory is the smaller, faster workbench beside active computation. Before a chip can process anything, the data has to be moved from the warehouse onto that workbench. In normal computing, those roles stay distinct. In AI, the pressure concentrates on the fastest and most expensive layer of memory, the one closest to compute. So the fight is not over storage in the vague sense. It is over the premium memory tier that can actually keep GPUs fed. Why call it a scramble? Because the effects have already spread beyond data centers. Since early 2025, DRAM pricing has surged, in some segments roughly doubling. Phones, PCs, and even gaming graphics cards have all felt the pressure. The reason is on the supply side. The large memory makers are redirecting more capacity toward AI-grade memory because the economics are far better. The same wafer can generate several times more revenue when it becomes high-end AI memory than when it becomes ordinary DDR5. If you run the factory, you shift output toward the richer product. But total capacity is finite. More supply for AI means less supply for mainstream devices. That is why forecasts have pointed to weaker smartphone and PC shipments, and why gaming cards have also faced reductions. This is not just another routine memory cycle. AI is repricing the whole supply chain. Now to the mechanism. The key term is the memory wall. Start with the compute side. GPUs have become absurdly fast. Their arithmetic keeps improving generation after generation. But fast math alone is not enough. The chip still needs data to arrive on time. When memory bandwidth and data movement do not keep up with compute, the processor sits there waiting. That is the embarrassing part. A powerful chip can spend real time stalled because the data is still in transit. The industry answer is HBM, high bandwidth memory. The idea is straightforward. Instead of placing memory farther away on the board, stack multiple memory dies vertically, put them right next to the GPU, and open much wider data paths between them. Shorter distance plus much broader lanes means far more data can be delivered in parallel. That is why HBM can offer bandwidth on the order of 5 to 10 times conventional memory, and why the latest AI accelerators depend on those stacks sitting almost shoulder to shoulder with the processor. At this point, 3 misconceptions need correcting. First, AI is not bottlenecked only by GPUs. Many systems are memory-bound, meaning the real limit is how quickly data can be delivered. Second, storage and memory are not interchangeable terms. One is the warehouse, the other is the workbench, and confusing them hides where the real pressure sits. Third, high-end AI memory is not made by a long interchangeable list of suppliers. The market is highly concentrated. SK Hynix, Samsung, and Micron dominate global DRAM, and SK Hynix alone has been especially important in HBM. So when people talk about the AI arms race, a big part of that race is actually controlled by just a few memory manufacturers. So what happens next? 2 things matter most. First, supply takes time. Building new capacity, improving yield, and scaling advanced packaging all move much more slowly than market demand. In practice, that means today's shortage cannot be fixed overnight. Second, the profit pool here is large. Some of the fattest margins in the AI stack are not only at the chip designer level, but also inside the premium memory business. At the same time, several variables can still change the picture. Chinese producers trying to catch up export controls that distort access, and the biggest question of all, whether AI demand cools before supply fully arrives. If that happens, today's supercycle could reverse faster than many people expect. So the next time you hear about the AI race, do not look only at the GPU. The real deciding factor may be those unglamorous stacks of memory right beside it. Compute still matters, but memory decides whether that compute can stay fed. In other words, this is not only a fight over faster chips, it is a fight over the entire supply path that keeps those chips alive.